All right, super coaches, let's start with the bad before we get to the good side there in the head-to-head team. And my squad, it was a bit of a shocker, to be honest with you. For this week, we were at 1173, which made us lose a bunch of ranks there into 8,500 overall now. And nothing really went right for us from game one. And that was obviously Isaac Tungo. I bought him a couple of weeks ago, and that has not played out correct at all. 130k down. Scores of 34 and 29 across those, and now he's out this week as well. When he comes up against the Dogs, it would have been a tougher matchup for him, given he's on the tough, strong left-hand side of the Dogs. But still, we want him on the park, a guy that can score 130s back-to-back weeks. It has not worked out well on that front. I traded in Trey Fuller for Turbo, so all I've got so far is a negative points and a good amount of cash generation, but not, definitely didn't help us last week at all with his score at 38 as well. Hopefully, at Suncorp on Thursday night, it's a much better fixture for him and he can still be there and available. The big thing here is probably the injuries and how that's setting up for the Dolphins. Tessie New likely to be out as well, and Thursday night is obviously a little bit less time to get some guys back. Herbie might, instead of Thursday this week, it might be the following round in round 11 there for him. Hopefully we do get a bit more time from Trey and he can make some good coin there for sure. But anyway, that wasn't great on that front. Dylan Brown out, man. We played Galvin. He got the 45, so that was average. Traded Garrick, which was nice at 102. A nice double for him. In that one, Val Holmes got less than I would have hoped at 59. And Kale Iro with 68 was great. It was the matter of holding Terrell May this week, and that worked great. I did trade in Jaden Brayley for Lussick, and then he went out and got 48 minutes, so that was great as well. And in the head-to-head team, we grabbed Watson instead. I thought Brayley would be a really nice player for round 13, just to add to those numbers. I was down a little bit in my round 13 numbers. I think I'm about 10 to 11, and if Hines is out as well, which I think at this stage is fairly likely. We could lose Crichton as well. It might be like the 9, 10, 8, 9 type of range if all of those guys make Origin. And that was a little bit scary, to be honest with you. So that's where I decided to go for Brayley instead of Watson. And then instead of some of the other guys that are a lot more expensive, I thought we could use that extra cash, which we've ended up with a lot in the bank at 517. Whether, we've got Jerome Hughes with his 22 and he felt his calf go 10 minutes into the game. So, very unlucky sort of situation for this squad. You had Hughes go through with that line break into the Eli Katoa try, which would have been great for me. Did not work out either there. So, 47 for Eli, 46 for both Vermore. It was not ideal all round, but thankfully kept the captaincy on Hines and got that 97 doubled in here in my team there. So, it's probably the main worry this week is that of Jerome Hughes. So him at 706k, I think there's a pretty highly likelihood that he doesn't play this week and they rest him up. They've won most of their matchups, and I think that's a smart idea. They had a couple of injuries on the weekend, and they might have a few younger fellas come in. They haven't got Pezzett to come in either. Thank goodness for them that Munster is in decent nick at the moment. But I do think that Hughes might be out. And if that's the case, he may be a sell. And I do have enough money to go to Cleary, but it's something that we'll have to have a little bit of a look through as to what type of halves can do a good job for my side, especially across the Origin period. Because if it's not Cleary, because Cleary I think it's a tough one. I don't know how many games he's going to back up from post-Origin. We'll have a look into that half situation in the next little bit, and then obviously I have enough cash right now. I had a look. I can go Blaze Talangi straight to like Jermaine Asako, who had an absolutely cracking game there on the weekend. So that's potential as well in my team here. That's probably all I need to say at this point. It's just about getting round 13 players in at the moment because I'm so down on troops, and we'll count it out for us now just to make it a little bit easier for your guys following along there. But Brayley and Curran and Terrell May definitely. Hughes number 4, which is cool. Crichton's a maybe. All right, so we'll leave him and Hines as maybe we'll take him off, but we'll add him for now. Crichton there is number 5. We got Kaipis Paul 6, Smithy 7. And then Hines 8, Dylan Brown 9, Ethan Strange 10. We've got Isaac Tungo 11, which is good. Iro 12. Talangi, I'm going to say no at this point, but we'll see. And then Fuller 13. If we take those two away, it is 11. So the trades I end up making improve that situation. As I said, I was sitting around the 9 mark, and holding, because I would have traded Strange out in that scenario. If I held on to Turbo as well, I would have been having another Origin player. So there was method to the madness, and there was hope that it would pay off. We could make some good cash. Fuller could score, similarly, but that wasn't to be in that one. And I would have to make a lot of trades over the next few weeks to get to anywhere near, the 13, 14 that we likely want, even if they're not all totally gun players. Like you're looking at Hughes and these types of players. Brayley, obviously they're in that number 13 number. So yeah, that was my general thoughts with the squad. I do have to go through those final 2 games before we do get into the head-to-head squad as well. But let's set up with round 9 and the games that we had. So last 2, we had Knights and the Wars there. We had a very low-scoring affair. 73 was the highest for the Wars, with Walker, and 69 for Hastings on their side. So not great overall. Lucas and Gagai, the 2 guys scoring solidly, 64, 62. Kai Pearce-Paul's 54 was fine. Brayley obviously just not enough minutes, and just tackles in this one. Hopefully he can get out of dummy half and maybe set something up over the next bit. Armstrong with 25. We'll talk about him in this week's Wednesday video as a potential buy for sure, but 25 points, a little bit of a worry in that one, and he dropped a couple of balls. Defensively was fine, but that doesn't help us in Supercoach. And then Roger with 53 just continues to be middle of the rung and losing a little bit of cash, not doing really too much for us. Sean Johnson with 45, fairly low one for him, but they're not playing well enough at the moment in the wet. He got a low one. You had Chance with a 40 and then Dallin with a 25. It's pretty gross across the board. And then Tamari Martin as well, who made a little bit of cash but starting to lose it now for anyone who did decide to buy him. It was just a bit of a write-off for the Wars in this one, and I think they're all holds, and hopefully it's a bit better for him. Torkel Harrison, AFB, doing good work in the mid-60s there with that one. And then Sharkies, obviously had Hines at 97 was good. Nicaragua getting back into his work there. He mainly got it through his defensive numbers in this one, which means, there might be tries on the other side of it. But for him, there he's up a little bit of cash, 614. They do come up against some tougher opponents over the next little period, so wonder if he will actually be a clear purchase, given they've got Melbourne, Roosters, Panthers. I just don't think, other than the defensive side, he's going to get massive numbers there and that one. And then Kale 68, keep playing him every week. He hasn't scored any tries and assisted in any since that first game that he played. So he's been very, very good. Atkinson with that line break helped him out as well. And Mulatalo's getting absolutely punished since Trindle had his blunder. So yeah, I'd be definitely not looking to buy Ronaldo until potentially Trindle's back and he's got that bit of control again. Ravalawa back on that right wing has been great for him. 2 games in a row where he's gone big and he's doing awesome things. So Lomax, you want him back on the wing, which I don't think is going to happen. And Eisenhuth continues to score well. Lomax the 49 there. In that one, Hamsele getting decent minutes there, up to 420. Probably want to go for someone like Samuel Afinu, and before I'd go for Hamsele in that one there. And that's really it on that front. Let's go to the leagues now. Quick chat on the Podmasters overall. I'm back down to 39th after being 25th last week in there. And unfortunately, Alex there, 1136, a bit of a tough one from him after how good he's been going over recent weeks. I think he missed out on a couple of the Roosters guys. Yeah, not having Terrell May and no Angus Crichton either. That's been an absolute killer over the last few weeks for him. He probably would have been, much higher than even that 10th if Crichton was still there over the last few weeks anyway with his massive scores. But yeah, you can't complain on how good he's been going, sitting in 84th, a much better position than myself. But feel the guys doing well here in that one. Yeah, just obviously follow along to see any guys you are following there. Brian Sini there he's into 1857 after a 1231. It was you need to get sort of high 1200s to at least make some ranks this week. Seems to be about that 1230, 1250 was about par, and outside of that you were losing ranks on that one, which 1173 is going to be nowhere near the mark there. Hopefully it's a big improvement from my side. Guru ended up leaving out Terrell May, leaving him on the bench, so that hurt. I think he would have had a pretty good week if he played him, maybe 1300 or something like that. And Tim, I think he brought in Sarko from following along. And then we've got Scoop, I think had a tough one as well, unfortunately. He's fairly low right now. It's 77th there, 1105. So he had a tougher one than me, and I thought I had a tough one there. So hopefully he he can bounce back there as well. SC Whisper at 1203, a bit of an improvement from him with the situation he's in that overall rank. So there you go. That's the overall situation there. Then the private group, my head-to-head team has moved into 4th, which is good. But Matt with a 14-19 lunatics there into 1400th overall. So hopefully the guys here continue to do well. There's 9 guys in around the top 5,000, which is great. I've pushed myself a bit further away, which sucks, but there you go. That's the my team. We'll move into the head-to-head analysis now. And for the head-to-head team, it was an absolutely massive score. I had a lot of players, unfortunately, in that Knights Warriors game with Johnson, AFB, along with Kaipi's Paul as well. That did hurt the numbers, and Roger as well. They all performed under what they were kind of projected to, but ended up with a cracking score there at 1393, and I'll show you how that ended up happening. But moved from 7,500 there into 3,032, so a really, really good push there. Have used a fair few trades, so down to 26, and we need to sort that out with 1 boost to go. I think we'll be leaving that boost for a little while here, but cracking score there. Round rank at 1,009, so still a heap of scores that were better than that, but we've moved into the top 2% overall, which is cool, and 10,042 are our total score there. So I think we're 150 or so ahead now of my overall team, which is rough. But yeah, ended up bringing in Watson, so that was a 100-point turnaround in itself. Basically on Brayley, have Adam Fanua-Blake and Terrell May, a really good situation there. Liam Henry, the only kind of worry in that setup right now, but they missed round 13 anyway, so if we're looking at a number there, it's not super helpful. But I ended up vice-captaining Crichton in this one for those following along through the weekend, and I then looped that 151. So I did have to cop Chan's 15 as an auto emergency, but I think the Hines 97 was kind of a good case scenario for this team. Obviously, my overall team had him as captain, so wanted a good score. This head-to-head team, somewhere around the 50 mark would have been best, obviously, but 97 was fine because I still won out a little bit on the auto emergency because I would have been playing Galvin for his 45, so I lost 30 points on the Galvin to Chan situation, but add that 30 on to Hines, that's 127, so it's a 24-point gain there by using a loop. So overall, it was a good decision and helped me. Hines could have come out and got injured, right? Thank God he didn't. But it mitigated all those risks, which was awesome. Brought in Max Plath this week for 52. That was sweet. As I said, Terrell May holding him was good. Into the halves, Johnson 45. Not his best, but not, he's not injured. Well, he's carrying an injury, but he's not injured like Jerome Hughes is in my overall team. So that's fine going forward. And then you've got, Brown. I ended up bringing him, moving him to starting team and captaining so I can do the vice captaincy loop. But got him back returning this week, which is great. And then they do come up against the Panthers, though. I believe, is that correct? No, Broncos this week. So there you go. With a few out, so that'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. But Meany this week, 45. Not his best, obviously, but fine. If Falonga's actually injured, there's a chance he plays fullback, which I know a lot of people will be interested in him in that position. And so that'll be cool. But they come up against the Sharks, which will be a really fun matchup. Fun game to watch, to be fair. Played Taylor May, which was cool. RO as well. But then Pap getting injured. Thank goodness he had a cracking half, but he was in for a massive week, that's for sure. Good thing for him is he didn't lose any cash. He's still up 6K. And Drinkwater's 96. And I'm super excited to be owning Drinky and also Holmes over the next 3 weeks. They've Dolphins been playing really well. Titans, they'll be a good one as well, but I do think there'll be some points again in this matchup. And really the main issue I've got right now is Ryan Pappenhausen, and I have 266,000 left over in the bank, and obviously Watson went up 103k, which is awesome. Depending on the situation, he's likely to be a hold all the way through round 14, and hopefully by that point he's kind of still sticking around this 60 average that he's got right now, whether it's some games playing bigger minutes, some games about 40-50. He'll be fine to hold until round 14, I think, and we can make a decision on there. Obviously, if injuries play a part, then he might be a longer term hold. But moving into next week there, Pappenhausen is the sell. Outside of that, I think it's worth holding trades here. So Pap will go. Who comes in is probably the real question. Obviously, there's Meany could move back to fullback if I want. I could get any wing fullback, any fullback right now. if Meany or Iro comes into the fullback slot, I could do some fun things in the center wing. Yeah, the Sarko is obviously an easy one there. He's at 770 odd, has a nice couple of runs, a nice little run, and plays 13, 16, 19. That's cool. So that's definitely something to have a look at here. But the biggest thing for me with the head-to-head team this week was just winning my leagues. I needed to get some wins on the board. And what's hilarious is, thank goodness I did win with 1393. I didn't come up against guys that they were able to beat that, but still 16th and 17th out of 20 in the two important leagues that I've got running there, which is super funny how that's worked out. So let's go to the first one there. I'm in 16th with 3 wins, a draw, and 5 losses. But if we're looking at the points scored, we've got Martin, who's in at 28th overall. So congrats to him. But if we're looking at points scored there, all of the rest of them, apart from the other Jamie, Ainsley's Antelopes, a 651 overall, and Malcolm, they're all sitting under 10,000 in points. So I'm actually sitting 4th overall with Tom just behind me in 5th out of the 20, but 16th in head-to-head wins. So we do look here, it's obviously fairly close down in this position. I've got 7 points, and then the 5 people in front of me have 8 points, and then 1 at 9 as well. So I'm 1 win away from sort of that 10, 11, 12 kind of situation there. And then there's a lot of people that if I can just get on a bit of a run and get, obviously I'm not going to make a final series if I'm not positive in the wins to loss columns, but I'm in a very good position overall that you'd imagine with my team value and what I'm able to do over the next sort of few months, that I think that I might be in a better position to finally get some of these wins on the board and improve my because points against, like these guys here in 12th and 13th, like Dan in 13th has 9,279 points against him. I have 10,251, which is 1,000 more points that I've had to deal with on the other side. Obviously here Ewan has copped it as well. He's 10,460 on the on the against side, and my points differential at neg 209. It's not ridiculous. It could be worse, could be better. And there's some that here, like Josh is in 5th in the league there at minus 62 points differential, and Martin's just killing it at 1182. That's for sure. So hopefully for my sake that he starts to slip a little bit, no pun intended, slippery, and we can improve our situation there. And then the other one, I'm sitting at 17th, still with that 7 points, and again, a big contingent of people, 8 points all the way up to 11th, and then 10th as well, 7th, 8th, 9th is where 10 league points is. So a couple of wins, and I can get myself up to about, I reckon, 9th, 8th, 9th would be cool. And we can keep moving from there, but that's a great score, and hopefully that continues over the next bunch of weeks, and we can get ourselves closer to that top 8 and get things going in this team there. But it's probably the main thing I wanted to talk about with the head-to-head squad. Probably just Pat, the one to trade out, and I hope you guys went well. Let me know what scores you got in the comments this week in round 9, and sort of how many trades you got left. If you can do that, that would be awesome. Score for the week, trades remaining, / any boosts, and just put in a brackets 0, 1, 2. That'll mean boosts for you. Like how many are left. So thanks for that, guys. Appreciate you guys being here for this video, and we'll catch you in Wednesday's Buy, Hold, Risk, and Sell.